We've got a lot to talk about in today's video, including updates regarding the roadmap, Star Citizen Alpha 3.23 being in open PTU, as well as a monthly report that gives us some indication as of the direction that we are taking for the future of the game. Let's go after this introduction. And as always, a big thanks to everybody who's recently subscribed to the channel and liked the video. I've seen really a big difference on the channel recently, so thank you so much, guys. You guys are really helping push the channel forward, and that is so much appreciated. It's also very much appreciated that we are almost halfway to the road to CitizenCon, thanks to the people on Patreon who have really been very generous this month. Thank you so much, guys. If you too want to help me out, send me to CitizenCon so I can report everything for you almost live. Well, the link is in the description down below. And so let's get started with our news here. And the first one is that Star Citizen Alpha 3.23 is now in open PTU. Not really open PTU, but it's still the ePTU. Nevertheless, still open wave. That means that anybody who has a Star Citizen game account with an actual game can now join the PTU and try Star Citizen Alpha 3.23, including all of its new features that are coming along with the initial release. Now, usually when Cloud Imperial games are doing that, that's because we are very close to a release. It could be by the end of this week, although I personally think that it's not ready for an end of week release. But we know what Cloud Imperial games does. Usually they have their own schedule, and we have seen them in the past release an unfinished and somewhat still unpolished patch in the past, and then build on, or at least reiterate on those patches later on. And I think that that's what they're going to be doing for the Invictus Fleet Week event, where we're going probably to have a 3.23.1 patch. So that's probably the reason why we might see it go live by the end of this week. Next, we have a roadmap update, and this one is bringing a couple of cars that are going to be committed, so therefore confirmed for Star Citizen Alpha 3.23. These include the brand new distribution centers, which we have talked about and seen in this channel over the past couple of weeks. Also, Vulkan graphics API support is there. That's really good because I've really seen some amazing improvements when it comes to graphics in 3.23. Water simulation and rendering improvement is coming as well. I was very impressed with what I've seen. I was trying Grav Royale on Clio yesterday. More on that later. By the way, the volumetric clouds update is coming as well, and these look phenomenal. Image upscaling as well as the replication layer update, which is also confirmed. One card, however, is removed temporarily from the roadmap. It's a delay here, and that is for Grav Royale in Arena Commander. Apparently, the team encountered a critical issue for this game mode that requires additional testing. I am not surprised. I tried it yesterday, and I think that there were a couple of issues that need to be resolved. The problem, I think, with Grav Royale is that the Gravlev ground vehicles are just too small. They're super difficult to hit, especially now that weapons are not gimbaled, and especially there are no gimbals on such small vehicles. So I just found out that people were just jousting and flying and just going around the map, and that was basically it. There was not much action, and in the end I found the mode rather boring. Alright, now we are going to talk about the latest monthly report, and we'll first talk about AI, and there was some progress here when it comes to ship combat behavior, which is also coming to Star Citizen 3.23, and here they've also made sure that the AI, when they're using ballistics, have finite weapons instead of infinite weapons, so that means that they are finally going to deplete their ballistics, and they're not going to be able to shoot as much as possible. They are going to basically be submitted to the same conditions that players have to deal with. Now, it's not going to make that much of a difference, I think, because they've significantly increased the amount of ammo per ballistic gun, but nevertheless, if they keep on shooting without stopping, then eventually they will run out of ammo, just like NPCs on ground are. They've also implemented point defense cannons that will protect capital ships from incoming missiles. Hopefully torpedoes as well, but that unfortunately the monthly report did not say. Next, we'll talk about animation, and the team has been working on various creatures, including 2 predators and a prey animal. Now, we don't know which one those are. Hopefully, the prey animal is the space cow, because it's not in the game yet, and we've seen that in last year's season con. I hope that one of the predators is going to be also the Borealis Stalker, you know, the Space Yeti. That would be phenomenal. And we also know that the team are working on fur as well, so maybe that's one of the required pieces of tech for them to implement the Space Yeti. The team character art also began working on 2 specialist armors, and have also reworked a utility armor. The character concept art team also continued working developing specialist armor, and they've also completed handoff sheets. Talking about art now, and the ship team has progressed with the Zeus, which is now in polish stage. We already know that, and the cockpit is now gray box complete. So first I was under the impression that we would see the Zeus during the Invictus Fleet Week event, but seeing that they just finished the gray box of the cockpit, that's really a short time to bring the Zeus live in just a couple of weeks, so perhaps it's going to be coming a little bit later. The Legionnaire, however, is now in white box complete, and the devs are currently exploring options to collapsible cover built into the boarding tunnel. They've also worked on the resource management system for 10 ships. Now it's finished for 10 ships. Talking about audio, the audio vehicle team completed their first milestone in overhauling the ship audio experience with new thruster sounds, which are rolling out to all new ships, so we should be hearing them very soon. Perhaps these are the ones that we heard during Season Com. As far as vehicle audio, the devs also introduced a very early state of manufacturer-based soundproofing. With this, each brand will have a unique soundproofing profile. But what about core gameplay? Well, we got some news about jump points here. The team enabled a new fail state, actually several fail states, if a jump drive detaches or stops functioning, and added tunnel push force from the edges of the map to help players stay on course. For the life support and room system, the team implemented filters that degrade over time, with the life support generator ceasing to work once they are all used. So you're gonna have to be very careful in the future and make sure that we do the maintenance of those filters, otherwise air might not be breathable in our ships anymore. That's very interesting. Gas propagation now uses accurate positioning within rooms, while atmosphere will equalize differently depending on whether they're high or low atmosphere environments. The developers also continued working on Maelstrom. Maelstrom is, of course, a technology that will allow destructible environments in Star Citizen, and they've also done some improvements when it comes to radar and scanning. Also, reputation-based hostility has seen further worked, with a neutral zone being added. So this is a special restricted area that all players have permission to be in, with NPCs ignoring reputation relationships and criminality and reacting neutrally to everyone, which makes sense, right? There need to be that zone here where we are neither friendly nor hostile, and that's what the neutral zone is. Interactables. Now, the Interactables team completed work on the fire extinguisher as well as recharge cabinets, including both high-tech and low-tech versions. The industrial cargo containers have had their final art passes, including branding and signage, giving them more credibility as container storage. And I think that this is perhaps a reason why the cargo update is not coming with 3.23, but a further patch, because it's one of these improvements that just needed to be made. The Sandbox team are currently finalizing the last few outposts, going for Pyro in Alpha 4.0. That's very good. I hope that these are some of the outposts that we'll be seeing on Pyro 4, the moons of Pyro 5, and of course Pyro 6. All of these locations were missing from the Pyro playtest that we got to experience last year. Now, before we finish, we'll talk about mission design, R&D, and UI, and we got some really interesting developments when it comes to mission design. The team used the extra time until the cargo updates was released to add additional high-quality content, that's their word, by the way, to further polish cargo hauling gameplay. And here they say that the various shipping companies of Stanton often outsource cargo hauling to freelancers through contracts. These job board missions task the players with picking up the designated cargo shipment at one or more locations and offloading it at one or more locations. It's basically a glorified delivery mission, but with cargo boxes. At their core, these missions will test the player's knowledge of their ship specs and also their ability to weigh the time spent loading and traveling against the payout. I love this, and I cannot wait to be trying this out. I just hope that they are going to be more reliable than the delivery missions that we have right now. R&D here, the half-resolution render mode was updated to accompany the new cloud rendering improvements and the introduction of ground fog. Finally, with UI, updates were also made based on player feedback, such as reducing the hologram effect on the HUD and bringing back differently shaped quantum travel markers. So there we have it, guys. These were the latest news regarding Star Citizen. Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think we're gonna see 3.23 at the end of this week? Are you excited for the cargo updates? Will you be doing some cargo missions? I definitely will be taking plenty, and you'll see all of that on live stream and also on the channel, and also my gameplay and react channel as well. Don't forget to check it out in the description down below. With that comes the end of this video. A big shout out to everybody who helps the channel on Patreon and YouTube membership program, including Dr. Fabin, Zero Crusher, Deplorable Fidel, and Ducky Care. I've been Irad. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Together, die together.